Captain Lena Royce sat in the cockpit of her small spacecraft, watching the strange green world grow larger before her eyes. The planet, called Zalara, was covered in thick forests, sparkling rivers, and high mountains that reached for the clouds. It looked beautiful and full of life, but also unknown and dangerous. Lena was one of the best explorers from Earth. She had traveled to many strange places in the galaxy, but Zalara was different. It was the home of the Zorathians, a mysterious alien race known for their power and wisdom. Humans had never met them before. Now Lena's mission was simple but very important: make friends with the Zorathians and start a peaceful alliance. Satur, landing was smooth, and Lena's ship touched down gently on a soft, mossy clearing near a large palace that seemed to grow out of the forest itself. The palace was huge, with tall towers made of shimmering crystal, glowing softly under the planets, 2 suns. It looked more like a living thing than a building. As Lena stepped out of the ship, a cool breeze carried the scent of strange flowers. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. No one knew what the Zorathians looked like, or how they would react to a human visitor. But Lena reminded herself of her training: stay calm, be respectful, and listen. From the palace entrance came a quiet but powerful presence. Lena turned to see a tall figure approaching. The being was unlike anything she had ever seen. Their skin shimmered like the palace walls, smooth and almost translucent. Their eyes were deep and glowing, full of wisdom and something else, a strange intensity. This was the alien queen, the ruler of the Zorathians. Her long hair moved like liquid silver in the breeze, and her voice was soft but firm as she spoke. "Welcome, Captain Lena Royce," the queen said, her eyes studying Lena carefully. "We have waited long for your arrival." Lena bowed slightly, trying to hide her surprise. "Thank you, Your Majesty. It is an honor to meet you." The queen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Instead, her gaze became even more focused. She stepped closer, looking at Lena's face as if trying to see inside her mind. Then, almost as if sharing a secret, the queen leaned in and whispered, "You must marry me." Lena froze. The words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. She looked up at the queen, unsure if she had heard correctly. "Marry you?" Lena repeated softly. I don't understand." The queen nodded slowly. "Our species is dying. Our future fades with each passing season. Only through a bond with a being like you, human, can I save my people." Lena's mind raced. She had come as a diplomat, a friend. Now the meeting had taken a strange and sudden turn. The idea of marriage to an alien was beyond anything she had expected. "Why me?" Lena asked, searching the queen's face for truth. "Humans have something unique: your strength, your spirit, your adaptability. These qualities can heal what ails us," the queen explained, "but time is short." Lena looked around the palace courtyard. The Zorathians watched silently from the shadows, their faces unreadable. No one spoke. The weight of the moment pressed on Lena's chest. She took a deep breath. "I need to understand more," she said carefully. "Marriage is a big promise. What does it mean for your people?" "For me?" The queen's eyes softened, slightly. "It is not a simple union like yours on Earth. It is a sacred bond. Together we can share life, knowledge, and strength. It will change both of us, and both our species." Lena's heart pounded. She thought of Earth, of her family, and of all humanity waiting for news. Could she say yes to this? Could she risk everything for a chance to save an alien world? Before she could answer, the queen gestured toward the palace doors. "Come. There is much to show you." Lena followed, curiosity mixing with fear. Inside, the palace was even more breathtaking. Walls flowed like liquid glass, colors shifting gently with each step. The air hummed with strange energy. The queen led her to a large room filled with glowing plants and strange machines. Images floated in the air, Scenes of Zorathian history, their art, their science. Lena watched in awe. "These are my people's memories," the queen said. "We have lived for thousands of years, but now our bodies fail. We need new life." To continue, Lena reached out to touch one of the glowing images. It felt warm, alive. She saw scenes of battles fought with courage, cities built in harmony with nature, and faces full of hope. "But why me?" Lena whispered again. The queen's gaze locked on hers. "Because humans survive where others fail. You are strong, brave, and compassionate. Your species has the power to change the galaxy." Lena looked at the queen and saw something she had not expected: a deep loneliness, a desperate hope. The queen's voice dropped to a whisper. "I do not force this on you, but time is short. My people need you, and if you say yes, we will face the stars together." Lena's mind was a storm of questions and emotions. The offer was terrifying and strange, but also filled with possibility as the twin suns of Zalara began to set, casting long shadows across the palace gardens. Lena knew her life would never be the same. Captain Lena Royce sat quietly in a large, softly glowing chamber deep inside the alien palace. The walls around her shifted with colors that felt alive, but her mind was far from calm. The queen's words from their meeting echoed in her thoughts. "You must marry me." It was a demand unlike any she had ever faced. The door slid open silently and the alien queen entered. Her eyes shone gently, but there was seriousness in her voice. "You have questions, Captain," she said softly. Lena stood, steadying herself. "Yes, Your Majesty, I need to understand everything. What does this marriage mean for you, for your people, and for me?" The queen nodded and began to explain. "Our species, the Zorathians, have lived on Zalara for thousands of years. We have great knowledge and power, but our bodies weaken with time. Our birth rates have fallen to near zero. We are a dying race." Lena listened carefully. "So, you want to join with me because humans can help save your species?" "Exactly," the queen said. "Humans are strong and adaptable. Your genes hold the key to renewal. The union between us would create a bond, a living bridge between our species." Lena frowned. "A bond? What kind of bond? How does this marriage work?" The queen looked at her deeply. "It is not like your human marriages. It is a sacred ritual where our life forces connect. We share strength, memories, and even emotions. Through this bond, my people can heal and grow again." Lena felt a chill. The idea was strange and frightening, but also powerful. "Would I lose myself?" she asked. "What happens to me if we join?" The queen's voice was gentle but firm. "You will change, yes, but you will remain who you are. Together we become stronger. You will gain knowledge beyond your imagining, and your people will benefit too." Lena thought of Earth. Her, family, friends, and everyone counting on her return. "And if I refuse?" The queen's expression darkened just a little. "If you refuse, my people will fade into silence. Their knowledge and wisdom will be lost. We face extinction without this union." Lena's heart ached. The weight of the choice pressed down on her. She was not just deciding for herself, but for two worlds. Suddenly, a soft sound filled the room, the low hum of the palace's energy. The queen raised her hand, and a glowing orb appeared between them. Inside the orb, Lena saw visions, images of the Zorathian world, their past glory and their future in shadow. "This is our fate," the queen said. "Only your choice can change it." Lena's mind raced. She wanted to help these alien people, but she was afraid. She had always been a fighter, a protector. Could she sacrifice herself for a cause so strange and great? She looked again at the queen's face. Behind the power and grace, she saw a deep loneliness, a desperate hope. "Give me time," Lena said finally. "I must think carefully." The queen nodded. "You will have time, but not much. The trials will begin soon. They will test your strength, your mind, and your heart. If you pass, you will be worthy of the bond." Lena's pulse quickened. Trials. She had faced dangers before, but never tests like this, designed for an alien mind and body. The queen motioned to a servant who brought a small device glowing softly in their hands. This will prepare you. It will help you understand our world and your place in it. Lena took the device cautiously. As she held it, she felt a warm pulse run through her. Images, sounds, and feelings flooded her mind. Visions of Zorathian history, their culture, and the ancient ritual of the bond. It was overwhelming, but also fascinating. She saw the strength of the Zorathians, their connection to nature and technology, and the beauty of their spirit. After the visions faded, Lena looked at the queen. "I will do my best to understand." The queen smiled softly. "That is all I ask." The next days passed in a blur. Lena was led through the palace halls by guides who showed her more of the Zorathian world. She met scientists, warriors, and artists, each different but united by loyalty to their queen. Everywhere she went, she felt eyes watching her. The Zorathians were curious but cautious. They whispered among themselves, wondering if this human could really be the answer to their survival. Lena trained for the trials. She learned to move in the alien environment, to control her mind under pressure, and to understand the ancient language of the bond. One evening, while practicing meditation in the palace gardens, Lena was joined by the queen. "You carry a heavy burden," the queen said quietly. Lena nodded. "I do. I want to help your people, but I am afraid of what I might lose." The queen reached out and touched Lena's hand gently. "Fear is natural, but courage means acting despite fear. You have the strength to change fate." Lena looked into the queen's eyes and felt something stir inside her, a connection deeper than words. Suddenly, alarms sounded through the palace. The ground shook as distant thunder rolled across the skies. The queen's face hardened. "Trouble," she said. "Our enemies are near." Lena grabbed her gear. "I'm ready to help." Together, they rushed to the palace defenses, where Zorathian warriors prepared for battle. Lena watched as the queen gave orders with calm authority. The attackers came, fast, strange creatures from the dark forests, twisted and fierce. But the Zorathians fought with skill and unity. Lena joined the fight, using her training and quick thinking to protect the palace gates. She saw the queen move like a force of nature, her power lighting the battlefield. When the battle ended, Lena was breathless but unharmed. The queen stood beside her, proud. "You fight well," the queen said. "You have shown your strength today." Lena smiled tiredly. "I want to do more." The queen nodded. "The trials will test you even more, but today you have earned respect." As the night settled over Zalara, Lena looked up at the stars. She knew the choice ahead was hard, but for now, she was ready to face whatever came next. The future of two worlds depended on it. The morning light filtered softly through the translucent walls of the palace. Captain Lena Royce stood quietly in a large chamber filled with strange symbols glowing faintly in the air. Today was the day she would face the first of the queen's trials. The alien queen entered, her silver hair catching the light like liquid stars. Her gaze was calm but serious. "The trials are not just tests of strength," the queen said. "They test your mind, your spirit, and your heart. To bond with me, you must show you understand both our worlds." Lena nodded, trying to steady her nerves. She felt the weight of the moment pressing on her, but also a strange excitement. The queen raised her hand, and the symbols in the room began to shift and move. The chamber changed into a strange landscape, a simulation created by Zorathian technology. Lena found herself standing on the edge of a vast forest, unlike anything on Earth. The trees glowed softly, and the air was alive with strange sounds. Voice echoed in her mind. "You must find the heart of the forest and bring it back. Only then will you prove your worth." Lena began to walk forward, her senses alert. The forest was beautiful but full of hidden dangers. Shadows moved between the trees, and strange creatures watched her silently. As she walked, Lena felt a connection growing between her and this alien world. She remembered the Queen's words about the bond, about sharing life and strength. Suddenly, a large creature appeared. It was unlike any animal Lena had seen, tall, covered in shimmering scales with eyes that glowed softly. The creature growled low and stepped toward her. Lena's heart pounded. She reached for her communicator but remembered the trial rules. No weapons, no help. This was a test of her courage and wisdom. She held out her hand slowly and spoke softly. "I mean no harm." The creature hesitated, then lowered its head. Lena understood that the trial was not just about strength but about trust and respect. She continued deeper into the forest until she reached a clearing where a glowing flower grew, the heart of the forest. It pulsed with light, warm and alive. Carefully, Lena touched the flower. Images flooded her mind, visions of the forest's life, the balance of nature, and the deep connection between the Zorathians and their world. Lena closed her eyes, feeling a wave of peace and understanding. She knew she had passed the first test. The chamber shifted again, and Lena found herself back in the palace. The Queen smiled warmly. "You have shown courage and respect. This is the beginning." In the days that followed, Lena faced more trials. She solved puzzles that tested her mind, remembering details about the Zorathian history and culture. She faced challenges that required quick thinking and compassion, helping alien creatures in need. Each test deepened her understanding of the Zorathians and their world. She learned that their power was not just in technology but in harmony with nature and in the strength of their spirit. One afternoon, as Lena rested in the palace gardens, the Queen joined her. "You have done well," the Queen said softly, "but the hardest trial is still ahead." Lena looked up, curious and a little afraid. "The bond itself," the Queen explained. "It is a joining of two beings, two minds. It requires trust and courage beyond what you have shown so far." Lena took a deep breath. "I want to be ready. I want to help your people." The Queen's eyes softened. "That is why you were chosen." Later, Lena met other Zorathians who had once faced the bond. They told her stories of the changes they experienced, new strengths, new knowledge, but also the challenge of keeping their own identity. One elder spoke kindly. "The bond is not a loss but a transformation. You will become more than yourself and you will carry the future of both our peoples." Lena thought about her family on Earth and the people she might never see again. The trials were not just tests. They were steps toward a future she had never imagined. As the final trial approached, Lena prepared with determination. The palace was quiet except for the soft hum of the energy that surrounded her. When the time came, the Queen led her to a special chamber, a place where the bond ritual would take place. The room was filled with soft light, and strange symbols glowed on the walls. Lena looked at the Queen and saw not just a ruler but a being who carried the hopes of an entire species. "I am ready," Lena said firmly. The Queen nodded and took Lena's hands gently. As their life forces began to connect, Lena felt a flood of emotions, memories, and knowledge. It was overwhelming, but also beautiful. She saw the history of the Zorathians, their joys and their pain. She felt their hopes and fears. At the same time, she felt her own strength growing, her mind opening to new possibilities. The bond was not easy, but Lena knew this was the path to saving a world, and perhaps many more. After the trials, Captain Lena Royce felt different. It was as if something inside her had changed, though she could not yet understand how. The bond ritual with the alien Queen was still fresh in her mind. A flood of memories and feelings from the Zorathians had mixed with her own. The palace felt more alive now, and so did the Queen. They moved together with a quiet strength, connected in ways Lena had never imagined. But questions burned inside her mind. What exactly was the bond? What would it mean for her future, for Earth, and for the alien world? One evening, Lena stood on a balcony overlooking the glowing forests of Zalara. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky with colors she had never seen before. The gentle wind brushed her face as the Queen joined her quietly. Lena, the Queen said softly, you carry much within you now. The bond is more than a connection of bodies. It is a joining of minds and souls. Lena nodded slowly. I can feel that, but I don't know what it means for me. Am I still myself? Or am I becoming something else? The Queen's eyes glowed with kindness. You are both. The bond changes us, yes, but it does not erase who we are. It strengthens us and opens new paths. You are the bridge between humans and Zorathians. Lena looked out at the forests below. What will happen next? How will this help your people? The bond allows us to share life and knowledge. Together, we will find ways to heal our world and protect yours. The connection gives us power to grow and evolve. Lena felt hope rise in her chest. She had seen the strength of the Zorathians and their struggle to survive. Now she was part of their future, but there was still a shadow of doubt. Will Earth accept this? Will they trust what we are becoming? Lena asked. The Queen smiled, gently. Trust grows with time, your courage will inspire your people, and soon others will come to understand. The days passed, and Lena's bond with the Queen grew stronger. They shared thoughts without words, understanding each other deeply. Lena learned secrets of Zorathian science and history, and in return, she taught the Queen about humanity's dreams and struggles. But not all was peaceful. One morning, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A faction of Zorathians opposed the bond. They saw it as a threat, a loss of tradition and identity. They feared humans would change their world too much. Lena met with the Queen to discuss the unrest. They fear what they do not understand, the Queen said with a sad smile. Change is always difficult. We need to show them this bond can bring hope, Lena replied. Maybe if I speak with them I can help. The Queen agreed and arranged a meeting with the leaders of the faction. In a great hall filled with stone pillars and ancient carvings, Lena faced the skeptical leaders. Their eyes were hard, full of distrust. We do not want to lose who we are, one elder said firmly. The bond threatens our traditions. Why should we trust a human? Lena stood tall, her voice steady. I do not want to take away your identity. The bond is a gift, a chance to survive and grow. I have passed your trials and faced your challenges. I am here because I believe in a future where we stand together. Another leader stepped forward. But what of Earth? What if humans bring harm? How can we be sure this will work? Lena looked each leader in the eyes. Because I carry both our futures now. I will protect your people and mine. Together we are stronger. Slowly the mood in the room softened. The leaders began to ask questions, and Lena answered with honesty and hope. By the end of the meeting, some nodded, willing to listen and learn. Later, Lena and the Queen walked through the palace gardens. The stars were bright above, shining, on two worlds joined by a fragile promise. You have done well, the Queen said softly. You are becoming more than a captain. You are a leader and a symbol. Lena smiled, feeling a deep peace she had not known before. I want to help both our people build a new future. The Queen took her hand gently. And we will. Together. But, as Lena looked toward the horizon, she knew the hardest challenges were still ahead. Not just from enemies outside, but from doubts and fears within. The bond was a new beginning, but also a delicate path between two very different worlds. The day had finally come. Captain Lena Royce stood at the palace balcony, looking out over the vast forests of Zilara. The twin suns rose slowly, casting golden light across the world. It was a new day, not just for the planet, but for two species, joined by hope and courage. Since the bond, much had changed. The alien Queen and Lena had worked together to bring peace between the Zorathians and humans. They had faced many challenges, from doubts inside the palace to dangers outside. But their bond had become a symbol of strength and unity. Lena felt the pulse of the bond within her, a warm, steady energy connecting her to the Queen and to the entire Zorathian people. It was a connection unlike any she had known before. Today was the ceremony to officially announce the new alliance between humans and Zorathians. The Great Hall was filled with people, Zorathians and humans alike. The air buzzed with excitement and nervous hope. Leaders, scientists, and warriors stood side by side, watching the two women who had become the bridge between their worlds. The Queen stepped forward, her shimmering presence glowing softly. Lena followed, her heart steady. "My people," the Queen began, her voice strong and clear. "We have faced a time of darkness, but today we begin a new dawn. Through courage and trust we join with the humans, partners, and friends." Lena stepped forward and spoke to the crowd. "This bond is not just between me and the Queen. It is a promise between two species to protect, to learn, and to grow together." The crowd erupted in applause, some still cautious, others hopeful. After the ceremony, Lena walked through the palace gardens with the Queen. "We have made history," Lena said quietly, "but there is so much to do." The Queen smiled. "Yes, but together we will face the future. Our bond gives us strength." Suddenly, a message came through the palace communicator. It was from Earth. "Captain Royce," the voice said, "Earth Council wishes to speak with you. They have questions." "About the alliance," Lena nodded. "I will prepare to respond." The future was wide open, full of unknowns and possibilities. In the days that followed, Lena worked with diplomats from both worlds. She shared stories of the trials, the bond, and the hope they had built. Slowly, trust grew. Scientists from Earth and Zelara began working together, exchanging knowledge that had been hidden for centuries. Technology advanced faster than anyone expected. Farmers learned to grow new crops using Zorathian methods, while Zorathians discovered human art and music. Lena often thought of her family back on Earth. She missed them deeply, but knew that what she was building was bigger than herself. One evening, as she rested in her quarters, the Queen came to her side. "Lena," she said softly, "your courage has saved my people and given us a chance to thrive." Lena smiled. "We saved each other." The Queen's eyes shone with a new light. "This bond will grow stronger with time. It will change us both." Lena nodded. "I'm ready for that." Months passed and the alliance grew stronger. Together, humans and Zorathians explored new stars, shared knowledge, and faced challenges side by side. Lena's story spread across the galaxy, a tale of courage, trust, and the power of connection. She had come to Zelara as a stranger, but had become a symbol of hope for two worlds. The bond was not just a union of bodies or minds, it was a bridge of hearts, and in that new dawn, humanity and the Zorathians stepped forward, together.